Hi, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Vet Method podcast. My name is Sanjay Mangabai, and I'm privileged to be in the wonderful cathedral city of Salisbury in the southwest of England. And today, I'm delighted to be joined by Andrew Luna. Hi, Andrew, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, whereabouts are you privileged to be today?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Okay, is it a privilege with living in Denver?
It's been quite nice. Originally from Austin, Texas, so it's been an escape from the heat.
Fantastic. Okay, a little bit about Andrew. He is the CEO of Hound and the founder of the Pet Care Collective. Andrew is incredibly passionate about culture and people and is building solutions for a better and brighter future in veterinary medicine. Wow, Andrew, I'm looking forward to talking with you because those kind of solutions, a better and brighter future are definitely what is sorely lacking in veterinary medicine right now. And that brings us nicely onto the title of the podcast, which is building a better experience for the people of veterinary medicine. And we're going to talk about that for the next few minutes. If you're ready, Andrew, let's start with question number one. Who is your ideal client?
Our ideal client is any independent or corporate or consolidator in the United States that's hiring people.
Okay. And maybe people who are somewhat frustrated with the hiring process, the whole HR thing.
I think everybody's a bit frustrated with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, fantastic. That leads us nicely on to question number two. What's the biggest problem your clients face and how do they solve it? How do you solve it, sorry?
So currently we have a talent crisis in veterinary medicine. I'm in the United States. We have a talent crisis across all industries, but it's particularly bad in veterinary medicine. Mm-hmm. We also have really, really high employee turnover. We did a big study and we found weighted average across all positions in vet med, 33% employee turnover rate, which is very, very high. What we're looking to do is we're looking to build solutions that make it much easier and different to hire, recruit, and to find jobs. So we're building a better experience for the people throughout the employee journey, starting with job search. We will soon also be releasing tools to create a better experience for those who are employed by the employer and supporting the employer in enriching the employment of their employees.
Fantastic. That sounds like a really ambitious thing to do, but a really important thing to do, and something that we could all use. Thank you. Great. Question number three. What are the typical symptoms people experience with that problem? Their pain points.
So for the employers, they're wasting a ton of money posting jobs that don't receive any applications, and they just can't seem to fill the jobs that they have open. For the job seekers, they have a really poor job search and onboarding or hiring experience. And so what we're looking to do is just quite honestly create a much better experience for the employers, for the employees from the start of the employee journey, which begins in our case at hiring and recruiting.
Okay, so that hiring and recruiting phase seems to be really important, really critical, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. Again, we're in a state right now where the industry is really hurting. Everyone that I speak to, all my friends in the industry that are in HR or recruiting are all struggling. And the tools that they have access to today simply weren't built for veterinary medicine. So they weren't built for vet med. They're not customized. They're not solving unique friction of this industry. And so Hound is coming in and building tools specifically for the people of veterinary medicine.
Yeah, vets tend to be very busy people. And especially right now, when you're down on staff, and I guess the hiring process itself and the orientation process probably get left behind because we're too busy doing stuff and trying to catch up. So what you're doing will make a big difference. Fantastic. Question number four. What are the common mistakes people make when trying to solve that problem? The things they thought might work, the things they try but fail.
Yeah, so I think if we look at the employers, they're all struggling to hire people. And I think it's because they're using tools that simply are inefficient or ineffective. They're also doing things like paying $1,000 per job posting to say, look for a DVM, and they receive 0 applications. And what must they do? They they post again, waste another $1,000. We also see an antiquated practice of having a 15 to 30% placement fee of veterinarians. That's quite wasteful of capital, and it could be going back into wages. It could be going back into facilities or into the greater community. So Hound is here to create a better, more efficient, a newer, a different way to manage this entire journey.
Fantastic. And from personal experience, I can tell you that, we seem to think that money will solve it. Throw another £1,000 or another $1,000 at it, bigger ad, more bolder, but it doesn't, as you quite rightly say. We're using the tools that were there from way before, but things have changed. The whole recruitment employee space has changed dramatically, especially in recent years, especially the last two, I would imagine. Okay, fantastic. Question number 5. What is one valuable free action that someone listening to this can implement that will help them solve their problem? What's your top tip?
Well, Hound is actually a freemium product, so you can go to hound.vet and sign up for free. We're changing the way that this is done. So right now, all of the job search platforms, you pay to have a profile, or you pay to post jobs, or you pay to receive applications. With Hound, you can actually create a custom profile, have as many locations and users as you'd like, post as many jobs as you'd like, receive as many applications as you can, and hire for free. We have an outbound recruiting tool that we bill you for, but we are giving the industry, veterinary medicine, the people of this industry, a much better solution for the problem that they're trying to solve. And we are finding ways to make veterinary medicine a better experience for the people. So, that goes for the people that are looking for jobs, and it also goes for the people whose job it is every day to recruit people. So we're building better solutions, and this is a free resource to start. You'll be able to, again, post as many jobs as you'd like, receive as many applications as you'd like, and that is completely free. We will be billing in 2022 for the recruiting tools. And again, we will be also releasing the employee experience tools. So what that means is whenever you hire somebody, that's not the end, right? You must then take care of them and manage the entire human resource management life cycle. We call it employee journey. And right now, the practices simply don't have tools to do that. So we're starting with this job search platform. This is when the journey begins, and we're building tools to support the employers and the people throughout that entire journey.
Wow, that's incredibly exciting, Andrew. From personal experience, I can tell you that one of my bugbears, my reticence in using employment agencies was that upfront 12 to 14% in the UK fee. And you had to pay that, and possibly had a bit of a clawback within the first 6 to 12 weeks. But it took up to 3 months to find out if an employee was actually the right fit, by which time, if it wasn't, you had lost all your money anyway. So that was a really big problem, So, and I don't know if it's true in the United States, but personal experience in the UK is that employees seem to want to go through an agency. They're less likely to want to apply directly to the practice. So in some ways, there was a vulnerability there. And I'm glad to see. So you don't charge that 15% upfront. Is that what you're saying?
No. That's right. We don't do this at all. So Hound is we're not an agency, right? We're a platform. So
Okay.
anyone, you don't even have to talk to us. You can sign up on your own, build your profile on your own. Now, if you want some support, for example, we just came out of stealth mode about 3 months ago. We already have 8 consolidators, which is incredible. And we're actively building all few thousand of their profiles across the portfolio of consolidators. So with us, it's a free platform that you sign up for. You don't ever have to talk to us. If you use the platform and hire people successfully inbound, then great, you never pay a penny. Now, if you need some recruiting tools, let's say that you want to reach out to candidates and you want to go headhunt, essentially, then you pay for that, but it's a nominal fee. And we also have found a clever way to give that money back to the talent who is searching for jobs.
Wow, Andrew, for me, that's a complete game changer. You make me want to go back and open up more practices. Great. So let's go to question number 6. Only 2 questions to go. What is one valuable free resource that you can direct people to that will further help with that problem?
Sure. So we're big on a better experience for people. We're big on culture. Those are the two topics that we're super, super passionate about. So
Mm-hmm.
we put together something called the Ultimate Guide for Awesome Culture in Veterinary Medicine. This is a really fun thing to put together. We collaborated with over 30 industry professionals from different consolidators. Some were consultants, some were from the affinity organizations like Latinx, VMA, so on and so forth. And
Mm-hmm.
the industry came together and we identified what the problem is, and we identified what culture is and how to solve it. How do you
Mm-hmm.
create awesome culture? How do you sustain that culture?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to hound.vet/blog, you will
Mm-hmm.
see the ultimate guide for awesome culture in veterinary medicine. It's a bit of a read. It takes about an hour, hour and a half to read it,
Mm-hmm.
but it is a blueprint. If you do everything listed in this guide, you will build great culture with your people, build a
Mm-hmm.
better experience, and your practice will be more successful.
Okay, absolutely. So because culture is what needs to get institutionalized into practices, and whether you have I'm assuming you're talking about mission, values, um, those kind of things, philosophy, philosophies of the practice, um, that kind of need to get indoctrinated, if you like, into the practice. That is so important. I mean, most practices have a mission statement, but it's kind of something that's paid lip service to. You have one, but no one ever reads it, and more so, I don't think anyone believes it half the time. And I'm guilty of having done that. So that will be really important. So we will include that resource in the resources section of the podcast. Fantastic. And finally, question number 7. What's the one question, Andrew, that I should have asked you that I didn't?
I would say either why or why now.
Okay. So why or why now?
So my why, I've been in vet med for a decade. My best friends, my closest colleagues, my family members, they all work in this industry.
Okay.
I used to work. I was an overnight emergency technician. I worked for 4 years in emergency hospital, working through college, and I just intimately know the problems that we're all facing in this industry. And for far too long, I saw my people struggling. When I was working at that emergency animal hospital, a friend of mine committed suicide. So I'm intimately aware of the challenges that the industry suffers, and I sincerely want to solve them. And so I care a lot about this industry. I care a lot about the people. I think it's a wonderful, beautiful industry, but we've got a lot of kind of stuff that we need to fix. It blows my mind that nobody has actually done this already. It's crazy to me that there's not a software company dedicated to building a better experience for the people in vet med. It doesn't exist today, right? Focusing on creating healthier culture, a better journey for the employees of this industry, and we're doing that. So that's my why. And why now? Quite simply, the industry is growing. Pet owner demand is booming. It's predicted that by 2030, U.S. market's going to grow from a $100 billion industry to $275 billion industry. That pet ownership will continue to rise. Banfield has projected that maybe 75 million pets will not have access to care by 2030. So the industry is booming. Pet owner demand is on the rise. However, our people are struggling. The practices can't keep up. And if this persists, then I think that in the next 5 to 10 years, vet med could be in a pretty sticky spot. So we want to get in now and start solving these problems. We want to collaborate with others in the industry who also want to solve these problems. Hound cannot solve this alone, right? We're solving one key piece that we think is really important. We want to make vet med more attractive, more sustainable, and keep people in the industry. But we need an entire collective of veterinary professionals, of businesses unifying to solve this problem together. And we hope that we can be part of that unifying voice. We started with that ultimate guide for awesome culture and pulled together, again, 30 different professionals from all sectors of the industry. So why and why now? These things are very important to me. And I think that the industry cannot wait any longer to solve these problems.
Fantastic. You're so right. As veterinary professionals, we've worked far too hard for far too long for far too little, not just in terms of earnings, but also fulfillment. And it's interesting what you say about the pet collective. So is that some sort of forum or some sort of space where people meet?
That's right. Pet Care Collective is a free, inclusive community. So, what we know is that not every single hospital is going to adopt our technology, of course,
Mm-hmm.
right? Technology scales quite well. We've been asked before, how are we going to solve these challenges of the industry at scale? Well,
Mm-hmm.
software scales, right? So, we're able to solve challenges at scale.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that scales really well is community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can scale quite well. So we are also building a community. We have over 400 members already. It's been word of mouth so far. And it's a free, inclusive community where people come together to solve
Mm-hmm.
problems, to make friends, to schedule meetups, go grab tacos and margaritas, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And we're focused in that group on three core things:
Mm-hmm.
healthier culture.
Okay. Wow, Andrew. I can feel your passion. I can feel your enthusiasm. And I wish you every success with your, innovative project in a way. You gave us some really valuable insights about how we could build better experiences for ourselves and in veterinary medicine, how we could positively influence the culture of practices. And I'm sure our listeners will take away some really valuable ideas. Once again, I just want to say thank you, Andrew, for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thanks so much for having me. It was awesome.